guys. My name is Mike Narks. I am the host of this Drag Drive Repeat show that you are watching right now, and host of also the Drag Drive Repeat News, which happens on Saturday mornings live on the channel here that you're watching this on. We're going to have one this Saturday, but it may not be right straight up 10 a.m. Eastern because we're going to be at the circuit, which is the event that I host. Promote. I don't know what you call that thing, but that's what I do with it. Eric is my right hand man. This dude right here has made so much stuff happen. And yesterday was his birthday. Did you know that yesterday was his birthday? So as our guests come in tonight, we all need to wish Eric a happy birthday. And over in the chat, please do that over there. Tell him happy birthday right now. Let's get this thing kicked off and hit the share button. We have a ton of folks coming in. I think we're going to have like 8 or 9 folks that are going to be here tonight for this episode. I don't really know. We don't have a plan. We don't have any kind of goals. We don't have any notes really written down or anything like that. But everybody that's on tonight is part of the circuit in some form or fashion. They've either been on one or they're coming on one. And we basically sent out a message to or a post to the Circuit Racers Facebook group the other day and said, hey, who wants to come on? Who wants to talk about it? Because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Eric and I are busy. This week has been intense, creating posts, creating artwork. I've ran around. I drove 250 miles today, just picking up the shirts. Thank you to Great Apparel Printing and Design for meeting me halfway and letting me get all the shirts. And I just got done loading the trailer. I was telling everybody backstage. So it's going to be pretty crazy. It's been a crazy day, been a crazy week, and it's only going to get wilder because the circuit starts tomorrow. The circuit 2024 starts tomorrow night at Chicken Annie's with dinner for the racers and crew. And until we eat on Saturday morning, this may be the only time that racers actually have a real meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be busy.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. So, all right, Eric, introduce yourself. Tell them what all you got going on, and wish yourself a happy birthday.
My name's Eric White. I'm the co-host of both the show and the news, helping out with the circuit event, graphic design work for Drag Drive Repeat, whatever other drag and drive events that need my help. I've been helping with that. And
Hmm.
yeah, yesterday was my birthday, and tomorrow is my wife's birthday. So it's a busy week.
Oh man, how did you end up with that? Now, how many years apart are you guys?
1 year.
Oh wow, that's awesome!
Yep.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations to her. We're glad she has stuck around with you this long. How long have you guys been together?
Probably going on 20 years.
Golly, dude, you were a youngster back then. All right, well, let's do this thing, man. Guys, we want to start off. We want to thank our sponsors, and we're going to see if I can read those from the bottom because we don't even have any slides up in the back because we're just going to fill you guys with knowledge tonight from everybody backstage. How many people do we have backstage? Uh,
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. All right, guys. Thank you so much to our sponsors: Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, Sweet Patina, Molly Motorsports. I've already said that. Performer Built Transmissions, Car Chains 3D, and Racing Junk Classifieds. We appreciate them so much. And our newest media partner, PowerTube TV, where you can watch this and other exclusive content from Drag Drive Repeat. You can watch it over there on the app or on their YouTube channel and all that. All right, yes,
Pat,
so 7 folks backstage. Pretty crazy.
Pat Cook, hello from the road. 250 miles down so far today on the bike.
That's crazy. Well, if you watched last week's episode 58, you saw he came on talked about the new bike and how he's riding it up. It's a 2018 Hayabusa, 2019 Hayabusa, something like that. So it's great to see him on the road and running. I can't imagine driving almost 900 miles on a motorcycle, then doing the 300 miles worth the circuit and then 900 miles home.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a
Well,
lot.
speaking of long distance travelers, I was making the announcer notes for Cliff Parvin, our official announcer for the circuit, making the notes for him last night. And it made me think, like, how many people are coming from all over the place? So let me read you this just real quick. Okay. So we have Pat Cook, who's coming from more than 880 miles away. We have Chuck Jensen coming from Wyoming, who's almost 800 miles away. We have Brian Acton and Jay Blanchard, who are leaving in the morning at more than 800 miles away. James Anger and Shelly Purdy are coming from Michigan, more than 850 miles away. And then we've got 8 dudes that are coming from Colorado: Robert Miller, Nico Christoferi, Jason Hurley, Eric McEwen, Bob Myers, and Curtis Myers, all coming from Colorado. Dude, this is gonna be nuts, man. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, Tell us about your week, and then I think we probably just start kind of funneling people in here to talk about this. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's probably good.
Yeah. So, birthday, what'd you do for your birthday?
It was a busy week. I actually worked because I'm taking time off to head down to the circuit. I went ahead and worked the full day. We went out to dinner. Pretty relaxing, but interesting. This is the first year in the past 2 years that I've actually been home on my birthday. So 2 years ago, we were doing the Volvo build in Arkansas, and
Hmm.
last year I was coming home from the circuit or I was still at the circuit. So I
Yep.
actually haven't been at home for my birthday in 2 years, which is kind of crazy.
That is pretty intense. And then later in the year, you're also kind of juggling your anniversary with one of the trips we have.
Yep. I've kind of
Yeah,
moved that around, so I'll be at Byron on Monday and Friday, and
perfect.
I will be home for my anniversary now instead. So
Man, that's awesome. Well, I'm gonna have to take off my glasses. I'm too sweaty, dude. It's like fogging up my glasses. All righty. Well, let's get to it. Let's bring on who should we bring on first? Let's bring on Jonathan Stonecipher first. And I want to tell a fun story. Mr. Stoney, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing
good.
great.
Good.
Guys, the whole reason all of this is even happening with Drag Driver Pete is because of Jonathan and our friendship. What, dude, 15 years ago now? We started with
Yep.
a single day drag race, and then now it's come full circle, man. He showed me the way with Drag and Drive and Rocky Mountain Race Week when 2.0 happened, and I haven't looked back since. So it's been pretty awesome to have you as like a I would we call you Uncle Stony in the chat group, but I think it's more like Big Brother Stony to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh if I had a family tree, I'm not even sure what that'd look like because I have so many people that are my brothers. So th-
that's
they
awesome.
they may not be by blood, but that's all right. It's even better anyway.
That's exactly right. Well, dude, tell us just real quick, kind of a recap. How long have you been racing? How'd you get into this? And then what was your first drag and drive event?
So I actually started racing in let's see, it'd probably been 1994. I'd have been 20 years old as the first time I actually went to the drag strip. And coincidentally, as Mocan's the first drag strip I actually went to. And
That's and
Nice.
yeah,
I'd made a bunch of street passes way before that, but that was my first official time at a drag strip was at Mocan, and then
nice.
it just kind of went from there. And I traveled with some friends to pump gas drags. Back in the day, starting in about probably 94, 95, I went to the Hot Rod Magazine Fastest Streetcar Shootouts every year
Wow.
because they were in Memphis, and it
Yep.
was just one of those things. You know, you look at a magazine, and I was one of those guys. I want to go be part of something. So I I started doing that, and then I went to Pump Gas Drags, which led into what became Drag Week. And I was a follower of Drag Week, and it took me a little bit to get something that would actually do that because I was actually involved in quite a bit of local racing. But 2014 Drag Week was my first drag and drive.
That's
So
awesome. And,
yep,
back in the
and
day, me and Brian Lawson drove over. We took off work, we worked
yeah,
together at that and drove over to Tulsa to see everybody, and, I mean, I had the bug then, but you know how it goes, you gotta it's man, it was always so far to the start, I couldn't make the time work, and then 2.0 happened.
what's crazy is that in 2014 I spent every dime I had to go. Like I there was nothing left, and I thought this will be my only opportunity ever to go. And just the way life worked out and things worked out good, and I started doing Rocky Mountain in 20. I do need a haircut bad. Uh, uh, I started doing Rocky Mountain in 2018, and I've only missed one since then.
Wow,
As far as 1.0 and 2.0, I've went to every one since 2018 except for I missed one for having COVID,
that's
and
awesome.
I've either been as I've either been as a co-pilot or taken a car, and then I've done all of the circuit races. So
Yeah, and we started that in 2019, dude, it's crazy.
yeah,
6th
yeah,
running of the circuit drag and drive,
yeah.
it's wild, man. So, all right. Well, cool. Well, let's. Who else should we bring on? Who do you want to bring on next?
Me?
Yeah, yeah. Who you want to bring on? Boo, because
I
you've been
want
his co-pilot a few
is
times.
Is Boo in the back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring him in.
All right. Mr. Boo Quamso, how are you this evening, sir?
Man, I'm doing all right. How about you guys?
Man,
Good.
looking over your right shoulder, that's a good looking car, dude.
Yeah, it's not bad for junky old Mustang.
Yeah, junky old Mustang. That's right. Well, kind of the same stuff. I mean, kind of give us a quick recap of how you got into this, and then we don't need to know how long you've known Jonathan, but tell some fun stories.
Yeah, so I started drag racing. Had like hot rods and fast cars, but I was in school, didn't really have the money to do anything serious. I had a GTO with a blower on it, and ended up riding in Derek Kelly's twin turbo car, and decided I needed turbos immediately.
Yes.
So put turbos on that car, and then tried to drag race it a lot because it was kind of a terrible street car at that point. It didn't do a whole lot well as a daily driver anymore. Went to the track, a handful of times, but the car just wasn't a good race car. So ended up selling it and buying this Mustang, sight unseen from Florida. Started talking to John Stonecipher a little bit about it after I bought it, and we put a cage in it and a couple little upgrade things. He kind of got me hooked on the stock block shootout deal. My car just happened to meet the rules for it. It was kind of, by chance, and been class racing it a few years after that, and then started doing the drag and drive deal after that class kind of fizzled out. And that's kind of the bread and butter anymore. Don't really do a whole lot other than that.
Well, when you take a whole week and make 15 passes in a week, that's kind of how that works. You know what I mean? You can get a lot of your racing a couple times a year.
And it takes so much more effort to have like a dual purpose car. You really can't just push it back in the box and get it out ready to race. There's so much more that you have to pay attention to make it streetable, or even want to street drive it at that point.
Right. Yeah, that's well, I'm excited. So you've made just a few upgrades the last couple of months, like wheels and some other stuff. Tell us what all's going on there and what your goal is, ET goal.
Yeah, I've had kind of a weird past. We raced Rowdy Radial the first year. I was a co-pilot the first year, and then I did Rocky Mountain in 2019, I think, was the first year that I did it. Got second place and kind of lit the fire then. Did it the next year. Was leading into the last day and ended up getting third place. Had some issues on the final day, which happens.
Yep.
And then year before last, we broke day one after making a ton of upgrades to the car. Last year, I crashed the car at Ozark first weekend out and tore it up pretty bad. So got it fixed, got everything ready to go. Did the circuit children's shelter shootout at the end of last year to kind of, get back in the swing of things. And then I've changed a handful of things over the winter. I put a hydraulic roller camshaft in it instead of the big solid it had. Switched brakes, got new wheels, just kind of tried to make it pretty again. So everything matches for the first time in eternity.
Nice.
So even if it's slow or hard to drive, it's nice looking again.
Yeah, you're proud to pull up in a parking lot is what you're saying.
Yeah, my goals currently are to just make it. I've had some growing pains in the last few years. When it was a stock block, baby turbo 850 cage car, it was really easy to just get in it and go rip it. Since upgrading everything, it just seems like it's a lot more effort. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm not super concerned. Of course I want to win. I don't, go do this without the anticipation of placing or winning. Of course everyone says you want to finish. Finishing is the icing on the cake, but everyone secretly does want to do well, whether or not they, proclaim it or not. You have a race car, you want to win in that race car.
Right.
Right. Yeah, especially that race car because it's good looking and it's fast. I mean, it's two huge benefits there. Well, let's bring on David and Keaton Maxon, who are hanging out in front of their race truck as well, and we're going to talk to them and kind of get the same story from those guys. So we're going to pack this whole page out right here. So, father and son team met you guys a couple years ago on the circuit. I think it was probably the first time we met. But kind of give folks at home kind of a background, and we'll start with David, the dad, and then obviously if he's been a car guy a long time, we know Keaton's been a car guy since the beginning of that. So lead us in, Dave.
I've been drag racing since I was 15. I got an 80 Malibu. I think some people have probably seen some of the pictures. I don't necessarily race it no more. It's a 6.0 LSA blower on it. 6-speed, basically it's just a street car. I've just kind of evolved, I've always, my dad was a mechanic by trade, and I just always loved cars and things. And, my wife has an 85 Blazer that we built for her. And, so that's something that mom's a big part of what we do.
Yeah.
And cars have just always been a huge part of my life. And then obviously Keaton was born in 2002. I was heartbroken.
Right. He's an adult and was born in 2002. That's insane, man. That makes me feel old.
And really Keaton didn't take any interest in cars until he was like 12. So, I was just like, man, is my son going to do this? Like, how does this work? I mean, I've done it with my dad, and I'm just like, I don't know. And then finally one day, he came downstairs. He decided he was going to start helping. And then, I guess, most people would say it'd been downhill ever since. But, I like to say, I'm pretty lucky. I get to do what I love with my son. I'm 44 years old. So, and it's kind of nice. He's 21 and, he gets to do it in the vehicle. He drove to high school. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but in the background, he's building a new car. It's a Fairmont, but I'll let you guys talk. He can talk about that. That's his pride and joy. So but
tell us about it, dude.
So like he said, I started driving this thing. It was just. I had a 4L60 in it. Leather seats, and then kind of some things happened, and next thing I know, COVID hit during high school, and I'm saving up to buy a turbo to put in the bed, and then that didn't really work out. And then I get a KB Racing manifold to put the turbo up front.
Yeah.
And we're still on stock ECU, and then we talked, then Lance came on board with us with the Holly stuff, and he's been tuning it ever since. And so, it's basically, involved in, Dad, he was like, well, you probably need to put a cage in it. So then it's got just a 6-point, so I can still drive it around on the street if I need to.
Yeah.
Or everything. But yeah, it just then I was like, well, I don't want to cut the truck up, so let's build something else. So then we found this Fairmont back here, pretty local, and we've had it probably 3 years.
Yeah, I think we probably had it.
It's been in. People call it chassis, whatever. He's been at the chassis shop for a year and a half.
Nice.
It's got 25.5 cage, so I won't have any concerns with that. So that'll be the car that I race all out for probably the rest.
Yeah, what's the setup going to be in that car?
Right now it's got a twin 7875s from VS Racing. Be on methanol. Obviously, probably be on Haltech, just like we switched the truck over to. Lance is a big part of what we do over here. And, Turbo 400, 6L aluminum block. We'll see how long the aluminum block holds, I guess.
Yeah. Dude, I'm sure it'll last a while, especially with him tuning. He's tuned some really fast cars, so that should
Yeah. For us, we sold the Holly. We had some issues with that. We sold it, got rid of it, got the Haltech, and then we were out doing our street hits one night. I was like, well, what do you think it's going to do? You're the tuner. You've been in this truck's laptop more than probably than any other car. And he's like, I don't know. And then you take it up to Flying H last week and goes 651 off the trailer. And then it goes 653 a couple hours later. So
yeah, and that's important because you're racing in the 650 index class that you guys peer pressured me into starting at PRI at Buffalo Wild Wings that night. So
yeah, I don't remember that very well, but I don't remember how that went down. But somehow you were making a post about 650 class.
Yeah, it was essentially Eric and I walk in from being on our feet all day talking to 7,000 people that came by the booth, and you guys were like, "Hey, we want a 650 index," and I was like, "Oh God, I didn't want it. I didn't want another trophy. Didn't want to do a whole nother thing." And Lance dug in his pocket and got some money out, and we laid the rules out.
I think it was more Joel Clark's fault. I think it was Joel's fault. He was the one. I just asked Lance. I was like, "Hey, you want to sponsor a 650 class?" And next thing I know,
Yep.
There's money in front of you, Michael.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So $500 to the winner of that class. So there's like 7 people in it. I think it's you guys. It's Red Hat Scotty. I'll have to pull up the list here in just a second to talk about. But yeah, it's going to be an intense. I think that's going to be a great battle. And within the 650 index, we're competing against the race that's going to happen in Australia.
Yeah,
So we're going to have bragging rights for a year. Whichever event wins that one.
I was messing with Scotty because I was like, dude, we're teamed up. Now we're on the same team. And you're not out here testing. What are you doing? He's like, well, I haven't made much changes since last year. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I don't think he's made many passes since last year, so I'm sure he's going to bounce in here in just a minute. Well, let's bring on Mr. Colt Beck here. Trying to get everybody here on the stage. Mr. Send It Race Media, how are you this evening, sir?
No, I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Man, doing great. Counting down the hours, dude. We will be eating dinner in 24 hours at Chicken Annie's Original up in Pittsburgh. So same stuff, dude. You raced in the circuit last year in a stick shift Mustang, and kind of walk us through that story, the setup. Well, are you bringing back that car?
Well, so give me 2 seconds. I'll tell you how the stick shift Mustang ended.
Uh-oh. It didn't end well for everybody that's at home. I'll tell you that much. He was making passes, and then he was not.
This is like the friction disc out of the clutch. This is a factory friction disc, right? So it's hard to ask too much out of one. I've never seen one. Usually there's something here, but that's what happens when you send it, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, dude. Well, you did, and I mean, you had a good time. Now, sadly, you're not bringing. I think you've got a Ranger that's got exhaust out of the hood, but you're not bringing it, man. What's going on? What are you coming to hang out at least?
Well, yeah. So we're trying to do some big things and grow as a business and as a brand, and we're building a shop, and we're just trying to do more. And so in order for us to do those things, some sacrifices had to be made, which was maybe the race program, which is okay. Yep. It's just temporary, right? So we still have the Ranger. I was telling the guys earlier, I have all the parts to put it together. Just absolutely have not had the time. So it's part of it. But we're still gonna come and hang out. I think the family's gonna come with me even, and we'll be there to film everything, and we'll see what happens. It's always a good time, right?
Dude, that's awesome.
Right.
Well, you're like one of 15 media teams that are going to be on site. So this event
15. Think about that.
Insane.
Your little drag and drive event now has 15 media teams. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. We got folks coming from everywhere, and plus we got Eric White, who's going to be down there taking pictures and videos with his new camera and running around like a maniac. So we're going to have some stuff for Drag Drive Repeat, but it won't be anything like what everybody else will have.
Year one and
it's going to be nuts.
Year 1 and 2, we had 0.
Yeah. Dude, I don't even know if I took pictures that year.
I've got the pictures if you need some pass.
Timmy was the official photographer that year, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. That and live streaming. Timmy live streamed a bunch because we were in the car. Man, I feel bad for the car. That's probably why the transmission's still out there.
It probably is.
Yeah, he's pretty rough on stuff. Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit different this year. I mean, we should be right up against 150 cars pretty easy. So,
hey, Michael.
Pretty nuts. Yep.
I see Aaron Roberts I think he may be in on the 650 index as well there.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. All right, let me get that note added here because I'm trying to make sure I've got as much stuff put together as I possibly can.
I know his wife's coming for the slowest trophy. So. For the snail, so
that's awesome. All right, I'm adding him now. Well, guys, let's tell some stories. What are you excited to see?
We got one more backstage still,
dude. Bring it on. Bring him on, bro.
All right, there we go.
How's
it going,
Mr. Fro?
It's going good. It's going good. Happy birthday, sir. And just remember this. Look at all these guys who didn't say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
I actually share a birthday with my wife. My wife's birthday is the same day as mine. So count your blessings that hers is 2 days after yours because mine basically doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
It's
like a Friday night. Eric comes first.
It would make it easier to remember, though.
That
right?
I like the way you think.
Yeah. What do you want to do for your birthday, honey? Well, I know the gift I want. Let's go.
So
Dinner, movie.
before we get into it, I've got to ask. Do you think that Boo signed on to stand there and hold his phone for like an hour? Because I
Yes.
know he's holding his phone.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
His arm is tired. He's dying. He's like, I didn't know I was
No,
going to be here
I'm
for the whole
soft, Jeff.
show,
I'm
man.
good.
I just keep
think I'll
looking
be
at
all
how
right.
clean. I keep looking at how clean the garage is. That's what amazes me.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty compared to what it normally is, but yeah, it's a hospital in here most of the time.
Hey guys,
good,
I've
though.
been his co-pilot, and it's amazing what he can hold for hours at a time.
That's awesome. All righty. Well, let's tell some stories. So, Fro, tell us what you're bringing because it's a super cool backstory to the car.
Did you say me? Because it
Yep.
broke up. I got the worst
Yep.
Wi-Fi on earth.
Yeah, Fro, tell us what you're bringing and the backstory to the car.
Okay, so I am bringing my 65 Ford Fairlane. It's directly behind me here. I got this car from my mom. Had this car for several years. My grandpa had this car for about 20 years. When I picked it up, it was literally sitting on the back bumper was sitting on a stump because both rear leaf springs were broken. I have slowly put this thing back together, and I say slowly, and it is slowly. Bucket list is killing me over here. Got the car put back together. This is technically the first year I am able to drive this. So I was signed on to be a co-driver, and I'm now going to drive my car because Gearhead Perspective as a team will be there. I have talked to both of the guys tonight. We're touch and go right now, but it looks like the other two guys they're at the very least going to be there.
Nice. Maybe they'll all end up in your car. That would be fun because those two dudes have race cars and you have a street car, like 100% street car.
This car still gets decent mileage. We were actually just discussing it earlier as to whether or not we're going to stay in Pittsburgh tomorrow night. And with my car being the way that it is, we may just pile into my car and head back to town.
Nice.
I think the only person who's going to be here who has seen this car in person is probably Boo, and Boo has no idea he's seen it.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yes.
now you got to tell us that story.
So it's really weird for me because jumping on here, I was like, okay, so these guys are going to be from everywhere, and I'm looking at all the cameras. That car is like 3 blocks away from my house.
Yep.
So we're like neighbors, and I had no idea. So
Awesome.
So now I know. So I've driven past this house in the Fairlane several times.
Yeah. Well, if it's out there, he's watched it drive by.
He's at the
I'm
very
out
least
here
30.
most days.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, I do see Jack Crawford and John in the back. So let's go ahead and bring Jack on because he's got a story to tell us about the Yacht One. Good evening, sir. Jack Crawford, driver and owner of Yacht One, the LTD that I'm in lust with. Tell us what's going on with the car, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. So, at the end of the year at Kings Open Road, we ran the 895. I went just over 150. And I was like, heck yeah, we did what we needed to do. But I had a lot of intake air temp issues. I blew up in the circuit last year, fresh motor, first time building something all the way out, and it just let go. So anyway, so I didn't have the money for a turbo again. So I've just been running the same smaller turbo. So we had a lot of intake air temp. So I was like, all right, let's put an intercooler and a turbo in it. So, well, that caused us to need to move the engine and transmission back. So I was able to move the engine and transmission about 4.5 inches back, closer to the firewall without modifying anything. So that's nice. And so I do all this work, been kind of killing myself, get it all together, fire it up, sounds killer. And it's just dumping oil out of the oil pan, one of those Summit oil pans. And the bung wasn't welded where not the bung, but the fitting where the brace and the stamp wasn't welded. So this was last night. So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to pull the engine and transmission out to get this pan out. And then I went looking at it like, I'm cutting that cross member out of here. So I just chopped the cross member out of the middle of this thing just now, TIG welded it up, the leak's fixed. So now I got to go make a cross member. See here in a second.
Nice.
So haven't got to drive it, but the timing issue was we thought we were 27 degrees advanced on the timing. That's what caused it to blow up last time. Well, what it really was it was a 24X reluctor, and it had space in between it, and it was an aftermarket wheel that came with my crank, but it wasn't tight enough. So I'm assuming somehow that it just was reading wrong, but it was showing that it was 27 degrees advanced. So this whole time it's been way wrong, and I just band-aided it by pulling 27 degrees out of it with the custom ignition setup. So it should be crazy now. So it should be good. I'm gonna see if I see. I'll show you real quick.
Yeah, he was talking about being one of the ones that blew up last year. He was actually the first broke trophy winner last year.
Yep.
And track went hot at 11, and he was done by noon. Sadly,
that's no joke. And it was a low boost.
Yeah,
it was like 10 pounds.
You jumped in with Carl Bright, and you guys had a blast.
Yep. So here,
I'm gonna put you full screen here. Oh man, yeah. The shop kind of hurts the connectivity a little bit there, but it looks good. Looks good on that side. I was trying to pull up the shots from earlier, but essentially it's the crossmember is literally cut out in the middle, so you could drop the pan down.
Yeah.
Which is the best way to do that on last minute stuff.
Yeah. I really didn't want to do it. That's why I didn't do it whenever I rebuilt the whole car, basically. But it is what it is. It's gonna be nicer now. I can change bearings, that kind of thing. So we should make it, and hopefully we get a redemption run this time. Make one pass.
Oh man, that's brutal. Well, we're praying for you for sure. We want you to do that. We want you to, because dude, I love that car. It's one of I like it. I like stuff like Fro's car because they're big. They're they were meant not to be as fast as what you've made yours. Now Fro's kind of cruiser style. He's not going to be racing it, but he could race it. It's just not going to be impressive.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy being 4,500 pounds, 20 foot long, and you're going to 8 popping a wheelie. So
yeah.
But no, I love it.
I don't know where Fro just went. He said, don't talk bad. Oh no, who did we lose? We lose Boo. Boo said, "Oh, you know my arm up anymore." He said, "If you're not going to talk to me, I'm out of here." That probably is a struggle with such a large panel of folks, as we're trying to work through who all to talk to and tell stories and stuff, and everybody's got to get comfortable around each other. Well, I want to bring John Doherty in here, and I want to have him kind of tell his story, and then we're going to get into some other stuff. We're just going to talk off the wall and kind of have some fun. I want to kind of wrap this about an hour and a half because I still have about 4 hours worth of stuff to do tonight. So, yeah, John,
I hear you there.
Yeah, John, you're muted, so tell us what all you got going on. And the other day on the Gearhead Perspective, I actually watched the first one on YouTube, and there was someone welding in the back while you were talking on Gearhead Perspective podcast.
Yeah, he's actually mounting slicks on our other wheels right now. You can hear the compressor going in the back. He's
nice.
He does most of the work.
That's
supervise
awesome.
a lot.
That's awesome. Well, tell us about the car. Tell us how you got into drag and drive.
Actually, the car is one that Fro and I bought in 2017. I think we got it in December and drove it on Hot Rod Power Tour in June of 2018. And about every year it's evolved into something else. And I tried to take it on race week 2 years ago and failed, and I ended up borrowing Bo's car and driving it. And then I took it a year ago and I blew it up. And then last year I finally took it my first successful race week, and that was a pretty good time.
Yeah. Anytime you can finish an event, that's always a plus. I haven't finished an event as a racer yet. That's my goal for 2025 is to sneak into one and actually race instead of just covering media. So
feels a lot better when you do that.
Yeah, I would imagine. I'm ready to have that feeling, especially in something fast. Ed Hohenberg, am I watching the Brady Bunch? Yeah, it's worse, bud. It's worse. It's worse than the Brady Bunch. So we haven't even really got started telling stories. Boo's back. Did you get you a camera stand?
Oh no, still free. No, I don't know. It just kicked me for some reason.
That's all right. Well, dude, let's tell stories. I don't even know who to start with. I mean, Jonathan always has great stories, so let's start with him.
So my first one actually involves Boo. So we decided in 19 we were going to take or no, it's 20. We were going to take his car, and it was what I would call completely not street tested. And I was his co-pilot, but I did all the driving between tracks, and he navigated because we just did what we were suited to do. And after we had drove for most of the first day, he goes, "I think you've put more street miles on this than I have the whole time I've owned it." So
that's awesome.
So yeah, and as all you guys know, when you travel with somebody, sometimes you get to know them more personally than guys should know each other. I know, Michael, when you traveled with me, you learn that there's certain things you don't say, like flip the light off or can you turn that on or.
Yeah, there's a great story there, and what happens? It's really the delirium had set in at that point. We had been up for, I think Timmy and I had driven 800 miles that day. Yeah, and at that point, I did get a little bit of sleep, but I think you guys had been up right around probably like 22, 23 hours at that point. Yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah, like I was so tired. I'll tell this story real quick. So Jonathan's wheel bearing goes out. We're close to Great Bend, Kansas. Jonathan's truck and trailer is in Tulsa, 238 miles from where we sat. The cart, which is open cockpit, we literally are 97 miles an hour as fast as we can get to Tulsa, get the truck and trailer. We're so tired by the time we get to Tulsa. Timmy jumps in the truck and trailer, and I just get in behind him. We're just driving both cars back like complete idiots. So finally, somebody was like, "Hey, why don't you put that cart on this trailer that's open and let's go get him that way." So I got a little bit of a nap then, but it was more like trying to keep Timmy awake, you know.
Well, I was going to say, Timmy's been my co-pilot. Keeping him awake after like 10, 11 o'clock, that's a chore in itself. So it's like he goes along real good, and then he just clocks out and he's like, "I'm done."
I'm done. That's all I got. That's all I got. Well, Colt, tell us some stories from your trip last year, man.
Oh man, well, so as you guys seen earlier, we obviously had some transmission issues on day one. Believe it or not, the clutch didn't go out. I think we made, I don't know, 5 or 6 passes. Like we really got the hot lapping it there at the end. But I mean, it's a daily pretty stock. You know, it's not much to hot lap a stock car, right? But we really dumped the clutch and power shifted on the last pass, and I think I went either from first to second or second to third and just crammed it in there, and it didn't go. So it did. I put it in there, right? And that's when things went south. So obviously at that point the clutch wouldn't disengage. So we kind of just, I don't know. We did make most of the drive. I think we made it to the children's shelter. That's actually not what made us not finish the race. But we just kind of floated the gears, like you would on a truck, and made the drive. We didn't get to do any rolling burnouts or anything, which is okay. We had plenty of fun watching them. Lots of Route 66 burnouts. And so I don't know. Like I said, we still got to do the drive. The thing that actually put us out, I ended up getting something in my eye, and I should have taken care of it, washed it out, and done the right thing, but I didn't, right? We were in a hurry. That's always the struggle. That sacrifice between how much can you get done and how much time do you have. So I maybe should have taken care of that a little more. And the next day it had really gotten into my eyeball, and I ended up having to go to the emergency room and getting it flushed out. And it was a piece of metal. I don't know if it was from something I was working on, or, you just never know.
Yeah, it couldn't have been from that clutch.
Right. It's kind of embarrassing to say that a piece of metal in my eyes what took me out, but it is what it is. So
dude, I've been there.
You never know, right? Yeah. So so you just got to try to be prepared and then kind of roll with the punches.
Right. Well, I want to know, Doherty, are you gonna, like, when do what's your last minute have to leave to be able to make it?
I think we're going to be good leaving sometime tomorrow. We've got we don't have to be there to eat chicken till 6. So as long as I can leave 4.5 hours before that, we're good.
Oh yeah,
We've got
you're in
a
St.
lot
Louis,
shorter
so it's
list.
not. Yeah, it's not horrible. That's awesome. You guys have been on it pretty hard the last few weeks. I've seen a lot of updates.
Yeah, we there's been a lot going on here. In February, we bought a house. The wife said, "Let's all buckle down and pack." So I pulled the motor out of the Nova and resealed it from bottom to top. Got it back in just in time to move. And 3 weeks ago, cut the car apart from the front seat to the taillight panel and redid the entire frame and rear suspension.
Nice.
Figured we had plenty of time.
Yeah, well, maybe you did. Maybe you did.
Yeah.
Showing up there's going to be awesome. Sharma Hardy was talking about. She said, "Have you been watching what John's been doing? They basically put all new floor pans in the car, and they just keep working on stuff. So it's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, I guarantee it. So you've done several of these now, several drag and drive events. What are something you're excited about hitting with this one?
Easy drives.
Yeah, 140 miles is day one, and then between day 2 and day 3 route's going to be about 165. So it should be. I mean, the veteran folks in here are going to feel like they don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah, having went from Pueblo to Kearney, Mocan to Springfield is going to be cake. But yeah, it's going to be really cool being in old stomping grounds. Lived in Carthage for a while. A lot of cool back roads to go down there 66 wise. It's just going to be cool. Also, a really good group of guys to hang out with at the go-kart track.
Oh, listen. Yeah, we might have to fire up the live stream at the go-kart track.
I'm not good at a lot, but I'm semi-pro at having a good time, and I think we're gonna nail it there.
We're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, who here has the longest drive? Do you know by chance?
I probably have the shortest. I'm about 60 miles away, I think.
Yeah. I'm about 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
So it might be me then, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're further.
This group right here, you for sure.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're 2 hours.
Through St. Louis, Eric?
What's that?
Do you come through St. Louis to get there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 9-hour drive for me.
Oh man, dude. Okay. You guys need to stay pretty well contacted or in contact all day tomorrow because Eric's trying to leave in the morning. And then, so if he can get out, maybe that would be about the right time to fall in behind you guys or at least be close. So that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Some good rolling shots and all that kind of stuff. Do you have an enclosed trailer or is it open?
Mine is a open trailer, and our race trailer hooks on behind the open trailer.
Yes. All right, Eric, y'all got to set that up if you're going to be close.
Yeah.
You got a CDL for that, bud?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. All right, well, we've been kind of neglecting David and Keaton. Guys, tell us some stories, man. You guys have done several of these. We hung out on Midwest Drags, and then you guys were here last year for the circuit. Give us some stories.
We'll start with Rocky Mountain. I mean, that was my senior trip when I graduated. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Since, other things happened in another event, but that's what we decided to do. And I had a 7.5 rear end in the truck. We took some power out. We were passing everybody. 480. We were having fourth gear. I mean, we were cruising 80, 85 all the way through, passing everybody. And then we got to Kearney. The track wasn't as good, so we took some power out. And the 1-2 gears, it snapped the spider gears. And the rest was pretty much finish in survival mode and finish mode. Instead of we were trying to chase an average. It was before we got M&M to make the reverse pattern shifters and got extreme automatics on board and everything. So we were just two-stepping in. The brakes weren't factory S10 brakes aren't that great. So luckily we had found somebody to weld it at the track. So we welded it and basically had a spool in it from Kearney to back to Great Bend.
Nice.
It was a challenge. So kind of back off of Keaton's stories. Keaton actually blew the motor in this truck in February before we had to leave. In 21. So everybody knows how tough it is to get a machine shop. And luckily a guy that local to us, he came through, we got it done. Then at his graduation party, it broke down when he was leaving.
My graduation party was 3 days before we had to be on the trailer to leave.
Yeah. So new motor, no testing, broke down 3 days before. We got it fixed, loaded up. We weren't even in the show, there. I mean, we kind of did with, Matt, if you show up, you kind of wait, wait your turn and everything. So we got to Great Bend. I mean, we sat around all day just hoping, it was his senior trip. Because a lot of people don't know this, but Keaton was actually leaving to go play college basketball, that later on that summer. So nice. It was something that we wanted to do, before he had left home. And yeah, it was a mess. We showed up there, we waited. I mean, it was hot. I mean, that was the year. I remember I shopped the floorboard in somewhere in between that drive from Morrison, Bandamere, over to Kearney. It was like 135 degrees in the truck.
Wow.
Some gummy bears that all melted into one big, in the glove box. They just all melted into one big glob.
I mean, I don't know how we survived it, honestly. We were coming across Kansas, and all of a sudden I look over at Keaton, and I'm like, you okay? And he's like, oh, I mean, those hog or those cattle farms, over there as you're cutting across from Great Bend. I mean, and he's like, oh, yeah. And then you could just tell because, you don't have no AC or nothing. You're just holding it in. I mean, that's just it. So, and so we got in, we cut across there. We pull into, we were one exit away after a 15-hour drive, Great Bend to Pueblo. We're one exit away, and all of a sudden, the screen starts flashing, Holly saying no fuel pressure. And I'm like, oh, you got to be shitting me.
That's the year that they went through, like, Motion Raceworks sold out of fuel pumps. That's the year that everyone burnt up fuel pumps and everything.
Yep.
Luckily, we threw fresh gas in it.
Yeah.
We were good the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, we made it. So, yeah, it was rough. I tell you, for anybody that's ever done Rocky Mountain Race Week, I mean, it's a huge thing to just finish. I mean, you do get your ass kicked. I mean, there's just no other way around it. We loved every minute of it. I mean, it was great.
Especially 1.0. Like, because, dude, I think somebody took a shot a couple years ago. It was like 114 or 141 or something like that on the floor of the car. Just hot.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize they didn't have no guardrails neither on the mountains.
Yeah, somebody scared the shit out of me coming down the mountain. I'm looking over and I look at him, I'm like, are you going to slow this fucking thing down? Like, I mean, you can't see nothing down there. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's like, man, come on now, kid. I'm not trying to die.
And then we went from extreme heat in 21 of Rocky Mountain Race Week to extreme downpour and Midwest drags.
Yeah.
That was, man, I didn't have no wipers, and me and Lance were riding together. He came down. He told us to come join him on that. So, and obviously, R&D Performance Fabrication is a big help to us. All everything that we can imagine, he helps us out with. And,
yeah,
I had to take off my hoodie because I'm like, dude, I can't defrost these windows fast enough. It's just raining so hard. I mean,
yeah, streetcar stuff, man. That's what Nico Cruciferi kept messaging, like, oh man, or he messages one time. He said, hey, it looks like there's some chance of rain next weekend. This is last week, and I was like, dude, it'll be fine. And guess what? There's 0% chance of rain now.
Yeah, so and you actually took that video, Michael, of Keaton and by.
Yep.
Oh, it was just downpouring and stuff.
Yep.
And,
that was the year, throwing up fours,
Yeah. That's right.
So that was pretty cool. And then we,
I was
we
in
did
with Justin Foxen that year.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Roadkill
that's
was a pretty cool deal down there at Pontiac. We raced, down there a couple years ago. And, that was a really cool event, So, we've had a blast, doing these drag and drives and things. And obviously last year, we hurt the motor. And so we didn't finish, Keaton was pretty pissed. So he actually, and I don't know if he really cares for this story, but so he hurt the motor, put everything in the trailer. I was like, man, we'll go home and get another motor. He's like, no. He was pissed off, and he kind of left everything be. He left the car and the Fairmont in the background. Like, he was like done. He was going to quit racing and everything. And I was like, I don't know. And Jill told, he'll come back around. I'm like, yeah, I hope he does. And, so he came back around, and now it's full steam ahead. And
he's a young man. He's got a lot more disappointments to come across.
and all of us know that these cars just disappoint you. This is the first one that he's never not finished, and so it like crushed him. And I'm like, dude,
it was just like. It like clocked in and clocked out every drag week that we had, or every Rocky Mountain drag and drive we had. And then all of a sudden, the shortest one we did, it couldn't even make it to the gas station down the street. And I was just like, how?
Hey, that happens, isn't that right, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Bro,
So,
John and Boone.
I don't think so. Holly played in our favor with that one, though. But
I got a good temperature story. We, Boo and I were in the Mustang when it was black, and at that time it had a air-to-air in front of the transmission cooler, and we would just drive it as far as we'd dare to, and Boo got to noticing when the carpet would start melting on the floorboard and his shoes would stick to it, it was time for us to pull over and cool the tranny off. So
that's intense.
It melted
man.
the seam sealer on the transmission tunnel to the floor.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's supposed to be able to handle a lot, and it sounds like you're putting through a lot. Yeah, we pulled the carpet out of the cart, and of course, it's a stock Grand Marquis, but it was so hot, our shoes were melting on the floor. And like, dude, it's an open cockpit car. Like there's nothing, there's no doors on it, and it was melting. I was like, oh, this is bad.
Yep, I've had some. My car being black, I've had in-car temps of 125 plus. Not the floorboard temp, the in-car.
Yeah.
And you've rode in it, and you rode in it in a fairly cool day, and it's still hot. But I went ahead and since then I put Dynamat and carpet in it, so I hope that helps with some of that. And Boo's car, when it was black, it was a lot worse than it is with the blue.
I would imagine, and then that car is different than
it was
what I rode
when it was
Jonathan's.
Black.
Yeah, Jonathan's Nova. It was designed, wing windows and things like that were made for airflow. Boo's car is new enough that it's made for air conditioning, and airflow is right by that open window. You're like trying to, please come in. Yeah, it's pretty intense. Well, what's everybody got planned for this year?
There, it blasts.
Built-in heater. It'll be good for you this weekend because it's going to be a little chilly in the mornings.
The good thing about the hood stack is if you're on the passenger side, you don't have to drink anything. It just makes all your vision blurry to start with.
It's terrible for the passenger. Real bad.
I guarantee it. What how do you fix that? Do you just run it up over the top? What do you do? Is there a slit? Do you just throw a cheater pipe in there and push it up over the car, or you just complain about it?
Boo, that was for you.
Yeah, Boo, that was for you. Nope, I think he was answering.
Just tell him not to take a nap.
Yeah, don't take
now.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, just don't take a nap. We don't do anything different at all.
Kill brain cells. That's what we did in Jonathan's car. I was like, dude, I'm tired. As we come into Oklahoma City and it's 400 degrees in the car, I'm like, Man, I don't know how much longer I can handle this, dude. The
And I told
water
him,
that
he
was
goes,
in there was hot. We were out. It was brutal.
what happens if I fall asleep? I said, I just drop you off at the morgue at the next town. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't think
there's
we'll-
no falling asleep in there. It smells so bad. It's honestly way worse in the passenger side than the driver's side. And I didn't
Yeah.
realize it until the first race week we did. And I'm cruising along. I'm like, hey, this isn't so bad. It's not too uncomfortable here. And then about 2 hours into monotonous Kansas, middle of nowhere, it's like I might be dying over here. This is really bad. Like I can't see anything. I can't smell anything. It's awful. So I'd like to do something eventually, but it's not in the cards for right now. So whoever's in the passenger seat this weekend is just going to have to deal with it.
Nice. Yeah, 300 miles should be pretty easy. Well,
Not-
John
not
Doherty. Yeah, John Doherty, what's your exhaust setup in your car?
It's an exhaust setup I got from Mr. Stone Sasher. It's a nice set of Lemons headers and a 4-inch exhaust that stops right under the front seats.
Yeah.
He's
glutton.
Keeps the feet warm.
He's glutton for punishment. It's good.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Keaton stops right here and it blows back right at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Hey, John, who you taking for your co-pilot?
I got an empty seat.
Okay. I was going to say, just watch your co-pilot, put some water in them, and if they start turning pale, you need to pull over and get them out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan's still working on the car. He says he's going to get it ready, but he's not going. I'm still trying to talk him into it.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's crap. That's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got some punishment last year on 2.0, so I understand.
Yeah, this will be a cakewalk for folks that have done Rocky Mountain because 1,000 or 1,300 miles in a few days. It's way tougher than 300. And I mean, there's days at Rocky Mountain that are more than 300 in a single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah, I keep
in
telling
2020 we got lost, drove all the way to Golden,
Oh,
and then had to turn around and drive back the other direction. So we ended up driving for 13, 14 hours in one day.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
man.
now we try and keep track of our own directions. But yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, we fell in with the group and they missed one turn and we were 40 miles out of where we should have been.
Oh, yeah. We missed
And
a
then-
few turns, but luckily I caught them, and in just enough time, where
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, oh, we got to turn around real quick.
I think it
Well,
does help when the other cars are behind you, and you're like, wait, those cars are going left. Maybe do we go left too? When
Oh,
we
yeah.
already went right. Like maybe we should go over there instead.
Yeah. So that's the way we just got to noticing we didn't see any other cars. And so Boo pulled up his GPS and he goes, "Hey, we're not in the right place." Hey, Chris, I can't wait to see you too. Baby.
Jack Crawford said to tell everybody he had a great time and appreciates that, but he's got to get back to working on the car and get it ready, for tomorrow. We're all gonna
Understandable.
be at dinner. Yeah, I see Danny Groove out here talking about Death Week. That's when I don't know if I would have wanted to do that one, but the 66 that's coming through is going to be exciting too. John Doherty's going to be on that one, and then I know I'm covering a couple days of it for content, and then
We'll have to get together on that one.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to do the drive. I'm going to go in what they call it, the sick ward.
Sick ward.
So,
yeah. So let's talk about that because I would like to do that for the circuit 2025. What are some things that we can do for those folks? Like what makes that a viable option for someone like for Rocky Mountain Road Week instead of Race Week?
I think obviously we broke last year, and Brad brought his 13-second GTL that he had. So we did a lot of the scavenger hunt stuff that we probably won't do this year just because I'm not trying to drive this thing all around town. But I think the scavenger hunt, I mean, I did have to do everything.
Wow.
I had to go through the car wash by myself while Lance and them were in the car. So I think the scavenger hunt was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got handcuffed to a cop and stuff like that. But I think the scavenger hunt would be cool for those kind of people.
Yep.
Like they just have maybe a normal car that's a lot easier to navigate through town, and
All right.
it's not waking up the neighborhood when you drive it.
Huh. I could almost do a daily thing for the circuit road weekers, whatever we call it thing. That would be kind of fun. Give them some extra stops or something like that.
Yeah.
Another thing they do on Rocky Mountain is they have you can vote. Any of the racers can vote, and they pick their pick of the week of the road weeker. So
yeah, definitely. I listened to the Adam Dory podcast with the Candy Van guys. Man, those dudes are
those guys
hilarious.
had a good time.
Yeah. He asked if they were ever going to race, and they were like, "No, I think we're just going to road week." And that's the kind of atmosphere we want. Some great parking, some specialty stuff for those folks. I like that Sick Ward has a different shirt, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to look into all that.
Yeah, definitely a different sticker too, so you know.
Yeah.
You can vote it a little bit easier.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll have different stickers and things. Yep.
That's another one of the things. Like my son is going to take his pickup that we took last year on 2.0, and we went to Road Week. He's actually bringing his pickup. He's going to follow along, but he's going to have to pay both days. It'd be something where you got in the event. Have a band like the rest of us.
Yep. Because so Ozark is doing they're doing a racer gate and a spectator gate, so that should free up a ton of time or a ton of space for everybody that's there. So yeah, we could do that, and I really want to do like a special parking area for them. So they're right up for, all the stuff, kind of like what Sick Ward does, and also what Matt and them do as well. So
what about one of those like a burnout contest for them to see who's what I mean, and their stock vehicle, come and have a good time. Somebody spray some water and something like that, and just see who really wants to tear up their shit.
Yeah, I like it. And dude, I'll tell you, we on Sick Week this year and Rocky Mountain Race Week, a lot of the Road Week cars they could be in the race. They just either didn't get in or they wanted to make kind of a test and go through it and all that kind of stuff. So there's a ton of really cool cars that do that. And I think could we get another 25 or 30 cars cruising along with us,
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'd be kind of fun. And if we're going to be somewhere around 150 race cars to start this year, could we fit another 30? I mean, for sure. I don't know if we could fit another 30 race cars and keep the kind of format we have now, but we could definitely fit another 30 cars parked in the parking lot and give them 2 hours in the morning or midday to do some burnouts.
You'd probably be surprised. You'd probably be surprised how many people do it, because there's going to be lots of people that come to watch family and are driving along and everything that would pay up front to go ahead and to be in the to have a band and have the banner.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing we're going to do too. This year we stayed with the smaller window decal that will go in the corner of the window, just because I feel like we're a regional event, so I don't want to do like a whole banner. But next year we're definitely stepping up one more level. So I'm not going to get into the stuff that's working, but there's some stuff already working on 2025. So I'm pumped. Let's just say we got to get through this one this weekend, which is going to happen, right after we get off of this. I'm back to another couple hours of work, and then pick up Rick Dodge in the morning, who called me a little bit ago. We've been working on rule sets and making his notes and stuff all day today, and then he's coming in. So it'll be kind of neat to see what a guy that has done all of the NHRA stuff and all of the really big events and Drag Week and Sick Week and all that stuff, what he thinks of doing this one on that side of it, not racing it, but on that side. So it's going to be kind of cool. Yeah. And then a ton of the media folks I'm really pumped to have. Obviously, Chris Story is our official photographer, but I mean, dude, we get Jesse Fox. This will be his second or third time at the event. We've got Gearhead Perspective that's going to be there. Those dudes are going to be out talking to folks and telling stories, and that should end up being pretty fun. I would think. Hopefully, you guys come up with some good stories. What have you guys talked about? What if you're going to record one on the trip?
We've talked about it. It's not the way that we record is kind of non-conducive to being on the road. But in all honesty, I mean, why not? It's not going to be something that's altogether that complicated.
Yeah.
every one of us is going to be busy. Bo's going to be racing. John's going to be racing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be rocking some cutoff shorts, and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. You want to talk about that for a second?
So this was an idea that popped up on our show while we were talking about it, and I've hidden nothing about my real life because I'm a terrible person, and I've had a job before that forced me to be in costume and stand in front of 1,000 people in a skirt. So it's not something that throws me off, and Bo kind of challenged me to bust out my inner Jungle Pam at some point during the circuit. I'm gonna walk out there and be the backup girl for a little bit.
Yeah,
and
this is gonna be awesome.
I hope that's.
Go ahead, Sonny.
I hope that's for John. I hope that's for John Doherty, not me, because I won't be able to stop laughing.
Oh no, I think it's not just for one person. So here's here's what I pitched to Fro. So we want to do it, y'all. The whole reason we're doing this event is to have fun and raise money for the Children's Haven. So here's the deal: if you want Fro to back you up as Jungle Fro, you're gonna need to give him some cash, right? So that is going to make for great photos as well. Because now there's going to be dudes handing Fro cash out of their race car while he's dressed as Jungle Fro, and then we're going to donate that money to the Children's Haven.
That's great.
Yeah,
and it's going to be awesome. It's the one thing I can say about all of Drag and Drive, that there's not a whole lot of people in all of Drag and Drive that take this so seriously that they don't stop to have fun at some point.
Exactly.
I think that's what's kind of kept you guys is you still want to have fun doing this. It hasn't lost that charm. It hasn't fallen off. It hasn't become a job for everybody. So it's when it comes to events like this, I'm not saying I'm a trendsetter. I'm just saying it might happen somewhere else.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. I think it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna set it up like there'll be ample time. One thing that we are going to do too is folks can donate at home during the live stream if they're watching on the Drag Drive Repeat YouTube channel, so they'll be able to help raise money through that way as well to give more during that time. So it's gonna be fun.
Allow me to make a fool out of myself, y'all. Pay up.
I got a quick question. How about if I donate for him to back up other people and they don't know?
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in.
Totally legal.
Yeah, totally legal.
Good.
Yeah. Tim Gorley saying it's going to be a real party. Dude, you have no idea. This is going to be. There's a lot of new people that are coming into this, and I've been telling them as they've messaged me, this is going to ruin them. This event will ruin people for future events, really, because I've taken a completely different approach. I've thought about the racing side of it about this much. I've thought about everything else about this much.
If we can't have fun, I don't want to go.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we're eating at Waffle House. I'm guaranteeing you right now, there's going to be a lot of people that have never eaten at Waffle House that are going to come that morning because they're going to be around a bunch of race car friends, and they'll be like, I trust it when I'm around all those folks, and we're going to turn people into Waffle Housers. I don't know, is Waffle Housers a thing? It is now.
Colt Ford wrote a song about it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, pretty good. We may have to play it on repeat while we're there.
That's right.
They've got one of those tunes things. Somebody do that. Just set that up for like 6 hours of straight Ford Waffle House.
They have a jukebox. We could just play it on the jukebox there.
Yeah. Yep. Travis Wise, vacation mode engaged. That's exciting. He's
boom
off work and coming. Yep. Well, cool. Well, let's tell a final few stories here, and then y'all, I've got so much stuff piled up to get done tonight. Last few things to get printed out. Racer and announcer notes for Cliff Parvin, who's our official announcer. He's asked me to add a few things, so it's going to be crazy. What other stories should we tell?
So there's a side bet between Keaton and Red Hat Scotty. Scotty lives 15 minutes from us, so
Perfect.
You know, and obviously, so the side bet is, it's $50. Donate the loser, and then Scotty has to wear a Maxim Racing shirt all week, or Keaton will have to wear the famous,
QPS,
red
buddy.
hat for the rest of the weekend. Now, I know Scotty's not in, but this is one of 12. There's like 5 or 6 left, and I think Scotty should donate the rest of the money to the kids if we sell the rest of them. I think everybody in here can help that cause, right? So
I like that. I like that. I'll definitely pick me up some of them. Now, red would wash me out because I'm so red in the face already. But I'll wear it just for raising money. I'll do that.
It's an ugly hat because Scotty's kind of an ugly guy, but I still love him. You know what I mean?
So when's this race going down? What's the?
Is it trying to go right off be the first 2 down, but he was like, I can't run it all out against you. He's talking about this big turbo that I got.
Yeah.
This thing's just a 69, 73 you can buy on VS Racing, and I don't know, we just wring its neck every pass, I guess.
Now he's coming. He's coming. So, Scotty, are we going to be first pair down or what?
Yeah, because we haven't set that up. We had conversations of Jonathan and Travis being first pair down, and then Travis bought a Cyclone instead of
he's not cool anymore.
Yeah, doing his Turbo LS. So, Jonathan, do you remember who we had lined up?
We actually hadn't picked anybody yet. That's something that we still kind of had up in the air. We're just waiting to see what looked good. And I figured we'd probably figure it out tomorrow evening. But hey, I'm thinking Keaton and Red Hat would be a first great pair if Red Hat will do it.
Yeah,
I think he's scared.
Put money on the table on the bet. Have other folks betting.
I've got 50 on both lanes, so.
we got to figure it out because he wants to do just this, race the 650, and I'm like, no, we can't do that. We gotta, do
and then
maybe like a little Hail Mary pass or something.
I know Joel Greer's got money on it too, so we got some guys ready to bet some money, and some of them will go both lanes, one lane. We're just going to throw our money out there and just let the cars run.
So last weekend. Everybody can kind of bet and take, I'm going to bet from the kid because last weekend he won a 001 with a 653. So
I think you scared Scotty. I think that's why he's not just committed because he's like, oh man.
Yeah. He may have to get ready. We'll talk him in. I don't know if he's coming tomorrow night, but hopefully he will. Surely he will. Jay Blanchard said we have a 91 Charger we would sell.
No, that's the car is what the race car is going to be. This thing's staying where it can be a street truck and spool fast on the street. This thing,
Scotty, you're going to need this, okay? You're going to need to go when you see it, okay?
When it's yellow, you better leave.
He's going to be looking for a nitrous kit this evening.
He probably has one laying around.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's been 650 in the car, right?
I think,
yeah. So. It should be
closed up and everything,
It's got a bumper exit, strange brakes all the way around.
Dang race car, man.
I know.
He may be moved into unlimited.
He better not show up. If he's got a funny car cage in it, he can't race in the 6.
That's the rule right there.
Nope. That wasn't the rule at all. I said, listen, if we're doing it, we ain't doing it. It's like 650 and run what you broke.
I was trying to get Michael to make the rules to fit me only, but he wasn't about it.
Hey,
there he is. There he is.
Oh, man, we've got echo. Well, we're talking a bunch of trash, dude. You better get in here and tell stories. Oh, man, we've got echo. Well, we're talking. And a bad delay.
I got sound.
Does he know he's on with
Hang
us?
on.
Come on.
There we go.
You better have a better reaction time tomorrow or Friday.
Man, the car's on jack stand still, boys.
Sounds about right. I expect nothing less.
what can I say? You know,
Yeah,
this is what
the
I
king of
do.
trash talk. The king of trash talk. Oh, it's still on jack stands. I don't know. It comes out runs a
That's
6501.
David and Keaton over there, man. They just talk and talk and talk. You know, I don't get it. All these 650 guys want to come in and beat up on me. I've been 640s one time, and now they, you know, apparently I'm like Stevie Faster. Scotty Fast is what I am. I went 640 once.
Yeah. Well, hey, when you're the fastest car in that class, it's people are scared.
Yeah. Dude, you're the champion. We're just trying to come take you down and raise some money for the kids. That's all.
I guess, man. I guess, you know, I'm gonna do something. I don't know. I think you and Michael Baker just need to, you know, go practice falling down in the pits, you know, because I'm gonna come in there swinging.
I got a porta tree in the basement you can borrow for a couple of days.
Oh man, hey, bring that tomorrow night to the dinner. Scotty Fast, baby, that's right. Bring that porta tree. Maybe we'll run a reaction time contest at Chicken Annie's. They're gonna throw us out. I can tell you right now.
Just hand Keaton the money, man. That guy goes 001.
I mean, it does help that I got the whole setup in the basement.
I'm confused by Scotty's.
Yeah.
I'm confused by Scotty's.
You know,
yeah, by his tactics. I'm like,
I'm confused by his tactics. He's talking shit and then says, "I give up." I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah,
what's happening here, man?
Yeah, the car leaves 2 foot in the air. I mean, everybody's seen that picture. I mean, so I don't. Big old turbo. I mean,
he's working on it right now. He had to jump in here because we just kept talking about him.
Hey, a couple hours ago, this thing was on jack stands too. I didn't even have front tires.
Yeah,
those things are bald.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it happens. You know, I mean, a lot to me mostly.
Amen. Hey, it sounds like David and Keaton need to go over and help Scotty get this car ready.
You need us.
I drove up to your place, man.
Yeah,
he drove it out to the house. I thought I was going to have to call the sheriff.
Travis said he agrees. He just wants us all to know that.
Yeah, and then he's sitting in the passenger seat over there, and he's getting a feel. And next thing I know, I look over and he's unplugging, you know, the bump box and everything. I'm like, man, this guy's sabotaging it too.
That's awesome. John Paul Frank says we need to do a reaction time challenge from slips turned in competition. That's not a bad idea. We actually did that last year.
Yeah, we did.
I think
Blacklist,
that's great.
Yep.
I was trying to come for it this year, I guess.
Yeah.
When we did that before, we made it. You had to turn in at least 2 slips. You can't turn in a fluker.
Yeah, well, it was based on whatever slips you turned in for your ET average.
For your
so
ET,
it always made good. Now I don't have a trophy for that, but we know a guy that does trophies. Maybe we'll see if he wants to whip one up tonight.
Ain't that the same guy to give up drag racing for a Cyclone?
Well, that's that Travis.
Yeah, he's still going to drag race the Cyclone, but he's a car show guy now. Runs around.
These 2 guys fit in great now.
I mean, I got a car show next right there. You know, I get it. It's all right.
It's the racer formerly known as Travis.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how long it will be before we see.
Is he actually going to drag race it? I thought the intercooler was messed up.
Oh, he got
he's
fixed,
probably. Yeah, he's probably not going to race it for the circuit just because he's got a little bit of a seep action there, so he doesn't want to, be a man and put rags on it and drive it on down the track.
Okay.
Okay. It's a whole Dang.
I'm sure you can find somebody to weld it up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's he was not used to driving a truck that low and nice and just run right over a railroad tie in the yard. So it's the way things happen.
Well, he said it's fixed, so.
Oh man, he's coming for you versus you.
Yeah.
Baby. Let's go.
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah. I'm really excited. Do you know there's 78 cars in that class? Holy cow.
We're trying to get Corey in that class too. When he gets his rental car, we're trying to have a race.
Oh,
I don't think you can say that on live TV. I don't think you need to know that.
Allegedly.
I mean, the
Just
car he's
edit that
buying for
out.
the weekend.
That's right.
Yeah, tell him to come on, man. Bring it on.
We're trying.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I think that class is going to be really cool. And it made me think today when I was starting to kind of put the numbers together for that class, like, man, how do we separate that class into without making it like an index? But how do you break that up some?
That's tough.
Faster and slower, I guess, maybe. Like
Yeah, but I mean, it's already a
V8 versus
10-0.
everything else.
No, I mean, I don't think I think you break it down by ET somehow, but
yeah.
it's still like it's literally like it doesn't matter if somebody runs a 15-3 all weekend, they can be right up against like Mike Turner who's coming for 10 O's.
Why would you want to break it up? I mean, because they're not doing heads
just 'cause
up.
there's-
So you want to give another.
there's so many cars.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
gonna say if you
just
just
'cause-
wanted to do another award, Travis,
Yeah.
you could actually do Power Adder and NA.
Oh yeah, that would be an easy one.
Yeah.
Because that's the other side of it. I need it to be easy. I don't want to be trying to figure out,
Yeah.
Because we want everybody to run stuff. All right, we may look at that for 2025. As I told Jonathan earlier today, we're looking at a completely new or a revamp of the rule set for 2025 and follow a lot more of the Rocky Mountain Race Week style of things because there's so many Rocky Mountain Race Week racers that come to this event. I feel like it's a great way for them to test. And if they have to worry about the rule package not fitting Rocky Mountain in some weird way, we don't want that. So,
yeah.
Still no funny car cage in 650 next year, right?
No, dude, it's run what it's 650, bro. It's an index. Who cares what you run?
We just made that rule so we keep Travis out of it.
Oh, well then, yes, no funny car cage.
Why don't you just have the no Travis Weiss rule?
We could,
yeah.
I like that rule better. I think.
Yeah. He'd be picking on me. He's already tried to pick on me last time at the 301 Streetcars event with his big old turbo tailgate class.
Yeah. Yep. That's the way it works. All right. Well, let's wrap this thing down. We're probably longer than we needed to. I want to go for about another 6 minutes, and then let's cut this thing and rock out, and you guys get back to work, and I get to writing notes.
Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and skin out. I'm gonna go start getting stuff loaded and get the trailer loaded. So
Sweet.
I appreciate you guys having me on, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.
Yep.
All right.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Right, see you guys. See ya.
All right. Well, Red Hat Scotty, you're the last one in. Tell us a story. Tell us how you got into Drag and Drive and what car you're bringing.
So I'm bringing the black car back here behind me. My 640 Pro Mod, and I got into this stuff actually through street rods with the dude. In a roundabout way, we used to drive his street rod everywhere. It was never on a trailer. Then I got into drag racing, and then Drag and Drive came around, and we're like, well, hell, it ain't that much different. You just got to make a couple drag passes. And we've been doing this since 2015. I can't count how many events we've done. Yeah. We've finished all that we've started. There's only one that we didn't make it to on time.
Yeah, that's a good story.
So we actually turned back around and made it.
Yeah, you told the story on one of the first times you were on on the Narcoleptic Customs podcast that they broke down in the race car and drove 6 or 8 hours home and then got in the daily and drove back to make the day one racing or something like that.
Yep. That was a long day.
I guarantee it. Well, cool. Well, what's the setup in the black car?
It's the 5.3 out of the Rickety Rocket. A lot of people know that car. It's the same motor. It's a Gen 1 on 3, 7675, turbo 400. It's pretty much it. There's nothing really special about it. It's got a
junkyard special.
Elgin Stage 1 cam in it. Some Pack 1218 springs.
Yeah. Is that that's the same motor that you swapped in the parking lot, right? At Tulsa?
That is the infamous 2020 Tulsa motor.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That was a good time, man. That was a good time. You've told that story too. That's a good one. I'll have to reshare that link because man, that's a great story. 1 a.m. in some dude's dirt floor shop picking up a motor from the corner. Yeah. Yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Colt, tell us what you got going on. When we can expect you? Are you coming to dinner tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be at dinner. Pittsburgh. Where's
Yep.
Chicken Annie's? Yeah, no, it's
Pittsburgh.
only like 30 minutes from me, so yeah, might as well go to dinner, right? But
Yeah.
so I was gonna say I'm gonna be there by myself most of the weekend. So I'll have some like availability. If somebody has a passenger seat open, let me know. I will grab my gear and jump in, and we'll see what happens. So
Yeah. There you go. I like it. John Fro will have Fro will have a passenger seat of some kind because it's a big boy car, so you can jump in there. That'll be a fun ride. We can definitely find you somebody to ride with for the weekend if you want to hang out and do that kind of stuff.
should be fun.
Fro, what's your plan? You gonna fall in behind Boo and come up tomorrow night? What you got going on?
So far, that's the plan. Of course, there's always a curveball that gets thrown in the plan. Apparently, my child doesn't have school this Friday, so I got to figure out what I'm doing with that. I do plan to be there tomorrow night.
Cool.
Luckily, the car I'm driving will still go about 75, 80 and just perfectly comfortable and good. So I can decide at the last minute to head that way or not. I'm not one of these guys who can only run about 50, so I got to plan 2 hours ahead.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, John, looks like they're talking about car stuff. So, David and Keaton, what's y'all's plan? You coming to dinner tomorrow night and then all that?
Yeah, after we get off here, I think we're gonna put it in the box and be ready to load it up after I get home tomorrow, and then head on down. We should. I don't see any problems going on the road
Nice.
on the way down there, so we should be there for dinner, and then get ready to, I guess, beat Scotty. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, let's line this out right now. Are you guys going to be the first ones down the track? You racing? Is this going to be? Is that the plan, Scotty?
That's up to him.
That's the plan as of right now. I mean, y'all know how late I am to everything, but yes, I will accept that first down the track challenge.
Awesome.
I'm gonna hold the whole event up by 2 or 3 hours.
So for everybody on, you need to, donate for this. So if you're going to be a part of this, anybody, they need to help donate.
Yep.
I don't care which lane they are, but they need to also help and donate this. So this is can be a big deal.
Yeah, throw some money at it and pick a lane. Yep. We don't know which lane yet, but we'll build this up. So the deal with the first race is it's always been a super, I don't know, it's a fun way to start the event. You got some trash talking, you got some stuff that goes on, you got people that have a relationship, it's not like just whoever was first in line. And then those guys, we're going to build that up a little bit so they'll have a little bit of time at home to be watching that live stream and throw some class to help us.
So I need a 640, Scotty, and I'll go probably 630s maybe.
No, I think it's got to be a 650, and
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If it's on a 650, you guys got to come right back.
Yep. Right back. There's no stopping, no nothing. Yep.
Just pull right back in the water box.
Yeah. Don't nod your head. Just come on back. See, look at you. Yeah. I will say that's one of the best guys I've ever met right there. That Red Hat Scotty. I'm telling you that. That's a good man.
I agree.
I learned it from you, Dave.
Okay. It's getting deep in here. John Doherty, tell us what's going on, dude. What's the update on the car, and we're gonna see you tomorrow night.
Everything's fine. Pedro got the slicks changed out, and there's a hole in the sidewall on the set he just put in, and we didn't know it until just now. So now we're finding a set of tires.
Awesome.
Or running a backup set that's completely wore out if I can't find something for tomorrow. But everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Change the oil in the truck, load everything up, start driving.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, guys, we're going to kick you out. We're going to close the show out. Thank you all so much. There's no reason to stick around after this. We're not going to talk for 30 minutes like we normally do off screen because we got so much stuff to do. So tell everybody bye, and then we're going to start rolling you out of here.
All right.
We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happy
See you guys.
birthday, Eric.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Awesome, man. What a fun time. It's awesome. I can't wait to hang
Yeah.
out with all these folks at the event, man. I mean, we're literally tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
It's
I'm
pretty
excited.
intense to think about all that. I got to, at least try and get some sleep tonight. I got about 3 hours of sleep last night total, I think, and that's not going to work. I built the first broke trophy last night because I didn't get all the other stuff sent out to. We were going to initially have David and Tina Pierce's daughter Kinsey build the trophy, but I was supposed to meet them at the Midwest Drag Race Series. That race got canceled because of rain. And then now we were out of time. So I built it all last night. I hope everybody thinks it's cool, and I hope nobody wins it.
There you go.
Somebody's going to tear something up on day one, but I hope we keep all internal fluids inside, and somebody gets it on kind of a technicality, not like Jack Crawford did last year when he completely melted down a piston.
Right.
All right. Well, dude, again, happy birthday to you, man. Thank you for coming on tonight. I know you're busy trying to get packed and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yep. Yep. We will see everybody tomorrow. I'll be probably coming in a little bit late, but I will be there.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, guys, thanks again for being our race car friends. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the comments tonight. We've had a bunch of them, almost 100 comments tonight. So it was really cool having all the folks here. And thanks to our sponsors, Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, Performer Built Transmissions, Car Chains 3D, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk Classifieds. And of course, our newest media partner, PowerTube TV, where you can see this or a bunch of other exclusive content that'll be coming from the circuit. We're going to post a bunch of stuff, get it ready for them over there as well. All right. See you guys.
Yep. We will see everybody live all weekend.
Yeah. Bye.